Hey guys, what's going on? I don't know if anybody's here yet, but let's go ahead and start talking. I'm just going to be doing a couple fun things today about Splinterlands and asking any questions that you have. Basically, I'm going to be showing some of my strategy ideas for an Untamed Bronze non-legendary game. So this stream is kind of for the people who are still in the Bronze League. Actually, this one's Novice League. This one is Bronze League. So I can go through novice matches and bronze matches and hopefully kind of show you some of these. I actually can't do these ones yet because that doesn't start until tonight. But we can at least go through the novice matches. And what I'm going to show you in novice is kind of very similar to what you would be doing in bronze. And then maybe I'll do a couple battles in gold and we'll see what's going on with that. Let's see here. I don't have anybody hanging out with me yet, but that's okay. Let me just do this while no one's here. All right. I got my chat up for if anybody does decide to join me. And I want to go here. Just doing a couple things while I'm waiting for a couple people to show up and watch the stream. If you joined in, sorry if I didn't notice you yet. I'm still just getting a few things ready. For some reason, yeah, my tags, I gotta learn how to make sure the tags go into the live stream. Huh? What happened there? There we go. Save that. All right, so maybe I won't get a lot of viewers today. We'll have to see. I'm going to start trying to go live every Saturday again in the morning for at least an hour or so. Do some live battles, ask a few questions, and touch base on a few of the other kind of things that I'm doing in the crypto world. So hopefully a few of you show up and go ahead and watch this, even if it's a little bit later today. But we'll go ahead and get into building my teams for these battles. And I'll be watching the chat to see if anybody does show up. So in Novice League, everybody gets level 1 cards, and it's really, really difficult to figure out who's going to win a battle. Most people are going to have every single card in the set if they've rented a few of the legendaries that they need. But in a tournament like this, it's no legendaries, which actually takes that off the board. So you're really talking about the epic cards being the key, and people who have, you know, make sure they have at least one of every one of those. Now, I haven't seen what the new spell book comes with. I should probably make a new account just for fun so I understand everything you get for free. But in this one, you got to kind of just look at the rule set, and then there's a couple summoners who are a little more dominant at this rule level in general. And so we're going to talk about those two teams the most, and that is the fire team and the earth team. This really comes down to the monsters they have just being more dominant at this level. The death team and the life team under certain rule sets can compete and can win, but these are the two teams that I feel like really dominate this scene. In general, the rule is if it's under, say, 22 mana, it's fire. If it's over 25 mana, it's the earth. The reason why you need higher mana for the earth team is you need to be able to play these two cards, the Unicorn Mustang and Micah, the Headhunter, with this big 4 attack and 3 attack and both very high speed. But you also need to be able to put a few other cards on the team so that they don't just get that Micah doesn't just end up in the front row. So see, with only 3 mana left here, you could try this and you might win. But in this format of monsters getting the same life as the highest monster, that's not really the best thing to do. So that's not the team I'm going to build. Instead, I'm going to go to Pyre and I'm going to look into building out a team that set is got a lot of monsters that typically have smaller amount of life, but in this format will have a lot. Now, when you go to fire, you're definitely going to want to use the living lava, and then something you want to do is you want to be ready to counter the living lava. So you want to team him up with cards that have at least 2 attack or have magic attack. You don't want to play a lot of cards like this one that have 1 attack unless they're the last card that you're adding. So as you can see, I added first the Spy and the Spark Pixies. Those are 2 of the better cards that you can play in fire. Now I have 5 mana left. This is one where everybody only attacks the front row, so you have to be careful not to try to play a sneak monster, but opportunity is not removed by Fog of War, so he's okay. He'll still be able to attack. And now we're looking at the 5 mana for the best combo. So really that's either I can play this card here that does 2 attack, or I can play these 2 here that both would do 1 attack, but he won't do anything. He'll only do 1. Let's see. I could play this one that does 2, but it's not splash damage, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. I could play this magic card, which would be an interesting play, but it only does 1. I could play this magic card that only does 1, but I don't have a 1 card to go with it, so I am just going to play this one. Now, this is kind of an interesting lineup. I'm really going to I'm going to change this, and I'm going to talk about why, but I do have to go ahead and submit this team. Hopefully, we'll get a battle screen. On some of these, we won't. Yeah, you're right, Dwayne. They are the 2 most powerful cards. As you'll see here, you're going to end up with some very similar teams. So he went a very interesting lineup, and we'll have to see which one of these works better. So in my theory, I didn't like the idea of not playing the living lava because I wanted this shield. This shield will negate his attack and will drop both of their attacks down to 1. He doesn't have that advantage, but he did go mage, so he has 2 mages that are going to ignore my armor, but they only do 1 damage each. Let's see if I can predict who's going to win. All of my guys do 2 on every attack. His back row here, this will do 0, 1, 1, 1, 1. I think I'll be okay, but we'll find out. He was able to put 1 extra monster on the board with his lineup, and the difference here in Equalizer, that might have been the better play, because even though he does a little bit less damage, he is going to, I have 6 more HP I have to kill on the other team. What do you guys think? Who's going to win? Do you know from just looking? So there you see the lower damage. Now, one of the things that's kind of interesting about my team is that I'm actually going to kill one of his attackers there before they got an attack on the first turn. So that's a really big advantage. The other thing that's going to be a little bit interesting, but it will probably be too little too late, is that he didn't put his Spark Pixies in front. With 6 speed, my living lava probably can't hit this card. He's going to have a tough time with his 2 speed. We'll see. Let's see if he gets a shot. Well, we didn't get a chance to see that one. We'll see this one. So, in the end, my lineup was correct, as you can see. That other one wasn't that good. Yeah, normally a speed would be a problem, but the living lava never had to land an attack on the last 2 monsters. That's why, in my opinion, he could have possibly put one of them to be the front row tank, because when you end up with a Sparks Pixies in the front row with 6 HP and 6 speed, if there's a slow tank on the other end, they might never hit it. Literally, like, never hit it. So that's something that can happen in Novice. And that's also one of the teams why in the higher mana matches, you're looking at, oh, this one's kind of interesting. So these rule sets don't matter a lot because nobody really has stun in Novice, and there's nobody really with healers except for maybe a tank that self heals. But in Untamed at level 1, I don't even know if there's one card that self heals in a no legendary match. Kron does, but he's not around, and we only have 12 mana. Who's got the best little cards? And as you can see, the 2 most popular teams are not allowed here. So I'm thinking if it's these 2, let's see, if I do that, that only leaves me with 2, but I have a 2. I think this might be best. Yeah, Spark Tank Pixies are an interesting tank. And they're a good thing in novice and bronze to put in front of your opportunity guy, because what it also does, because it has low life, is if you both are playing that 3-cost opportunity monster on there, that they'll have to try to hit the Spark Pixies first. And if they didn't do the same lineup, then yours is going to kill his is going to try to kill your Spark Pixie, even if it goes first. And that battle of who kills who on that little 3-drop, if you're both playing it, can be very, very crucial. So as you can see here, we both went for similar teams. I think the fact that he has a sniper could put me in trouble. No, my 3 attack is probably going to be too much. We both have armor in the front row, so we're both going to negate the other's first attack. But because he has a sniper, the sniper is not going to help him take out my front row. Oh, and then look, that 2-speed monster missed the flying mage in the back. So that miss is going to make this just a dominating win. But really, the Serpent of Eld is just such a better level 1 card with that 3 attack than and the 4 speed and dodge than that other card. So that was pretty cool. That was a pretty easy win. So see, and I believe all of you should have access to those same 2 cards. So he could have done the same team as me. And in fact, in very low mana matches, sometimes you will see the exact same team quite frequently. All right, 12 mana again. These low mana ones are just not that fun. And this is odd monsters only. Let's see. So the golem is so slow, though, that he misses people, so I don't like to play him. I think Serpent of Eld is still what I want, but I can't. I'd have to play him with no one behind him. Is there a better option here? So you could do him as a tank as a 5, and then you could play a 3-drop with him. So could those 2 cards beat a Serpent of Eld? He doesn't have armor, he's slow, he's probably going to miss. Nope, I don't think there's a better play. I guess the better play is Serpent of Eld with an extra armor. And then the Albatross is here just in case they have a sniper or a sneak monster for some reason. And well, they won't. It's just kind of there because I had a mana, right? That's all that was there. Remember, if you guys have any questions about the game, you can go ahead and throw them out. I'm looking to answer any questions you have while showing you the kind of teams that typically do well in bronze. I don't know if I'll win every match, but I tend to, in one of these when I play them, I usually go about 8-2, 7-3 at the worst. And if I'm really concentrating, I think I can do a little bit better. But sometimes I'm just not paying really great attention. I think this one's going to be pretty easy for me. I was actually thinking when I saw the dragon that he was going to be doing something similar. But yeah, definitely the best 7-cost tank in the novice set is the Serpent of Eld. The problem is the guys behind him are pretty terrible. So that's why you don't see. That's why I don't really consider Bortus really good in the novice and bronze. And the other thing, there's so many monsters that only have +1 or 1 mana attack that giving -1 mana attack doesn't really matter. Now we have 13, and we have. It's funny. I think I'm just gonna keep doing the Serpent of Eld. This is too funny. Now I have 3. There's nobody that costs 3 that's any good, right? No, you're no good. So we'll do you and you. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, they actually said in the last AMA that the new rewards cards would be out in 1 to 2 weeks. I'm guessing it's going to end up being more than like 2 weeks because it's just what I believe is going to end up happening. Now, I could be wrong about that, but in general, I feel like they're going to take just a little bit longer. They did tease the first 2. There's a couple different posts out there that kind of show them. I think I could find those in my Discord really quick. I'm in a Discord group. as well as a Telegram, guys. And so I'll drop a link in chat if you want to join this one. It's actually run by another guy who's helped build a few channels, and we go over all of these different games here. I kind of am the one he's brought in to go over the summoners. So this is one of them. So this one is actually an amazing card for Zaku. So Zaku is going to be even more powerful in high mana matches, where I think he had maybe a little bit of trouble like in a 99 mana match because he didn't have quite enough cards that cost over 8 mana to play. But now you give him this guy as like a third tank on the board with 5, he'll make it 6 attack. Pretty good. The speed's a little low, but Fire has a lot of cards to up speed, so he might have a little bit more. And then he can stun, and he gets 2 attacks. No, not 2 attacks. He can attack from the front row. 2 attacks would just be mind-boggling. But he can attack once he hits the front row. This one here, they showed us. So this is a nice, solid magic card for the water team for high mana matches. And this 3 attack magic attack is pretty solid. He'll easily be 4. There's a couple blue summoners that can buff him. He has Void. Void on a magic monster is amazing because it blocks Reflect from being devastating to you. On top of that, the 11 HP, he's just not going to kill himself with reflecting. He also has the phase ability, so he can dodge magic with his 5 speed and dodge regular attacks. So he's going to be hard to kill. And then we don't know what this is. Nobody knows what that is. Any guess? Maybe it blocks the first magic damage in a turn. But, I mean, that's kind of silly because I already have a skill that blocks all damage on the first turn. I don't know. That one's kind of interesting. So I'll go over cards to help you get to silver in just a minute. As far as how many SPS stake to buy packs, there isn't going to be a set amount of SPS to buy packs. So what they're going to end up doing is they're going to take how much SPS packs you have, how much SPS you have staked compared to how much SPS is staked. And then they're going to go ahead and give you a percentage. And then let's say there's 1,000 vouchers. If you're 1% of the SPS that is staked, then you would get 10 vouchers. And then those vouchers can be redeemed to buy 10 packs along with the amount of money that is needed to buy packs. So they're finding a way to really make sure that people who own cards and own SPS tokens and have staked them and are invested in the future of the game are the ones that get to buy packs during the pre-sale. Now, some people might not like that. I understand if you're a brand new player and you're not getting a lot of SPS given to you for free, that's kind of difficult to deal with. And until we know how many packs are going to be printed, I admit this could be bad. It's the one bit of feedback I've given them. I am a Monster Maverick. I've told them we don't want to scare away the new players. But we also don't want to see, I think it's kind of designed to prevent outside whales from coming in and buying up all the packs and flipping them on you, right? Because if I buy the packs, I might resell them for like $1 or $2, but I'm not going to buy all of them. If they sold out, I might resell them for a little bit. But the player, but at least I'm a player of the game. I make content for the game. I give things out on Hive all of the time. I feel like those are the type of people he's trying to reward, whereas we don't want an outside millionaire to come in and see the growth in Splinterlands and be like, I'm going to buy up this whole new set and I'm going to charge a premium to all the people who want to play, and I'm not even going to play. So they're preventing that with this voucher system on SPS, but they are also making it a lot harder for you to get in if you're not somebody who's getting a lot of SPS for free. So you're going to have to purchase some and stake it. As far as how much to purchase and stake, I'll let you know I have over 50,000 SPS staked, and I'm not even one of the biggest players in the game. I am a Maverick, but I'm not one of the big Mavericks. I don't have every card in the game. I mostly have every untamed card, but my alpha and beta set cards are not all max level, and my dice set is not all max level. My orb stuff is not all max level. So I'm not like 100% up there max player. There's very few that are, but like in the end of the season, I rank around like 70 or 80 usually, and so that's probably similar to where I am in collection power and amount of SPS that's been given to me. I have not been purchasing it. I've just been staking what I get. There could be some players that went ahead and went outside into the outside market and bought some. When I know a little bit more about this whole staking system, I might make a purchase of SPS and stake them with the plan to eventually unstake them and use them to buy the packs, because you will be able to do that. There will be a day when there is a voucher drop, and then you will get your vouchers, and then there will be a day when you can actually buy your packs. Since you already have your vouchers, you can go ahead and unstake your SPS, but there is a bit of a delay there. But if you have a voucher, you can buy a pack in the pre-sale, and there's only going to be about enough vouchers to, in theory, buy at most the most packs. So that should solve that problem. So that was that one. Sorry, I'm going through these, everybody. So, do you think it's better to run multiple bronze decks or one solid high dollar deck? That's kind of an interesting question. If you have the money to run a high level deck, I'll go ahead and put this battle in. I think I'm going to win this one too. But if you have the money to play a high level deck, then that's better. And the reason it's better, and it's not as clear right now, but once rewards cards start coming out again, there are always some really, really good legendary rewards cards that are very, very strong and worth a lot of money that you can get for free. And just getting more chests to be able to oh, he missed. See, that's why I thought I was going to win. I was like, it's going to be close if he lands that attack, but now it's over. So the but that's kind of where I feel that it is that you're going to want to have that big account so that you can get more chests every season and more ones every time, because every one is like a lottery ticket. You open up a gold foil legendary card and you've made a few $100s back. And that's really how I was able to build my collection. I got one deck to a pretty high level. I played, and every time I got a gold foil legendary card or a gold foiled epic, I sold them. And while you might think, oh, that was a terrible thing to do, it wasn't, because I went up and bought a bunch of regular cards with that money. So my overall collection got better and stronger, and I was able to farm more and farm more and farm more. So that's kind of how I did it, and that's how I would imagine if you have the money to buy at least a deck that can say get to gold, then that's maybe where you'd want to be. Now, if you can't get the money to get there, then maybe playing 3 bronze accounts would be better, because you can just kind of use the rewards from all of those accounts to compete and have fun and earn a little bit. Usually in rewards, there's at least 1 to 2 legendaries you can get. There's at least 1 to 2 epics you can get, and then a 1 or 2 rares, and then a couple of commons. So there's around 10 cards that can normally be given out. When the new set is released, they've already showed you those 2 cards I showed you really quickly, and those are both a rare and a legendary card. So you're probably going to see a release of 1 to 2 legendaries, about 3 to 4 rares, maybe 1 epic or 2 epics, and then 1 to 2 commons, maybe 3 or 4 commons. And then they're going to be released for quite a long time. And now that there's a lot more players in the game, you're going to be seeing yourself get a little bit less for sure. If you can buy a Cornelius, you should just buy it. If you're someone with that kind of money, that card is let's just really quickly, I'll go to the market and we'll just look here at these legendary untamed cards and dice cards. These cards are going to be playable in the new set. They're going to be very, very high in demand, and there's just not that many of them on the market, but they're not at unreasonable prices to possibly buy. Now, Cornelius is one of the only cards in bronze and low level that can heal. So having him can change the game a lot, because you have a card that can heal. Well, the only other card that heals is Kron, and obviously Kron's a little bit better, but that's why he's way more money, because he has a heal and a magic attack. The magic attack has to go ahead and get can attack from the front row. So that's what makes him so broken. And then he gets last stand even at level 1 with the llama. So llama Kron in bronze is something that will just haunt your nightmares if you don't have it. It'll kill you almost all the time. It'll be very frustrating. Eventually, I'm going to try to teach you some theories on how to beat that, but there's not that many. It's hard. It's very, very hard, because really to beat that, you need stuns to stun Kron, so Kron doesn't self-heal, because Kron's turn is still kind of slow even in last stand. So if you have some 5 or 6 speed monsters that can stun him, then he doesn't get to attack, he doesn't get to heal, and then your team can kill him even last stand. But you can't do that at bronze. There's nobody with a stun. Literally not one card with a stun. So it's very, very hard. And Affliction doesn't work because he has a late turn heal, so the llama will always remove the Affliction unless you could try to find an Affliction monster that would put the Affliction on him right before he took his turn, but the chances of that really working are really, really minuscule. So it's one of the things you could try. Am I still selling monsters to prep for Chaos Legion? Yes, I actually sold a legendary Frost Giant. I had one that was level 2. For me, I didn't play him anymore. And for me, he was replaced by. Where is it? Oh. By this card. So I thought Torio is just as good as the Frost Giant, except because you're trading a Void for a shield, but they're both big hitters with expensive cost and 1 mana. And I didn't have a max level Frost Giant, so when it came to a level 2 Frost Giant versus a level maxed out Torio, I went ahead and sold my my card, and I got $1,000 for it, and I'm just saving that $1,000 to buy packs. So I am going to basically, when I look at my collection and I look at my legendary cards and I look at my betas, you see here, like I have an Angel of Light at level 2. I never play this card because it's not even leveled up enough to heal it, and I have like an Elemental Phoenix at level 2. I never really play this card because it doesn't have its magic of Reflect. I got my 2 dragons here at level 3 and my Spirit at level 3. At level 3 they're playable in the upper leagues, but like when somebody else has the other one, you're like, they have it maxed. So, I might sell this card because if I can get $900 for it, I'm not going to play it, and then it can help set me up to buy a lot of packs, and I'm hoping that I get a card that can kind of replace the Angel of Light in the next set. I don't know if there'll be any card with Heal and Resurrect like she has, but there might be something. But I mean, for me to max this card out, you need 8 of them. Mine has 2, so I need 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'd have to buy all of these ones. And I mean, let's just see how much would that money it would cost me. Oh, that's 7B, so I can take that one out. $2,800. I'm not gonna do that. Oh, that skill gives void to adjacent units. That would be pretty cool. That would be cool. I like that. Sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm just reading through the chat for a second. I know it doesn't make. Oh yeah, the green golem in bronze at level 3 heals too. He's super good, so you could get him if you're playing modern. But once playing classic. But once Chaos Legion comes out, you can't play him. So just like this event I'm in here, where I'm doing Untamed, where I'm showing you Untamed bronze battles, and no legendaries. There is no. Oh, this is interesting. Do you have him now? Is he good enough to make you win? He's only 1 speed though, so he's gonna miss. And the dragons don't add anything, right? Yeah, dragons don't add anything. This is kind of ugly. This is kind of ugly. We'll see how this goes. I don't think that renting everything is a good way to go, Christopher. I think basically buying a set of the cheaper cards and say like buying your summoner, like let's say you want to be somebody who makes it to silver, so buy a couple of level 4 summoners. You could wait until Chaos Legion is out and go for level 4 Chaos Legion summoners, and then rent like level 2 legendaries or even just level 1 legendaries, because when you're playing and you're playing against this massive new players that don't have all the cards, well then that mass of new players is going to be if they don't have the legendary and you do, that could be the difference between you winning the match. So I kind of feel like it's better to get the cheap common cards, cheap rare cards, cheap-ish even anyways, build up your team, and then rent those ones that you can't really afford to buy. Because then you'll probably be making enough to pay for that card on your team. And only do it for maybe your 2 favorite teams. You should, over time, like, push to have all the cards and all the teams if you want to be really competitive, but you can push to have 1 or 2 teams that are really strong, that are generally good, either the green team or the fire team. We'll see what Chaos Legion does to change that. It should reset the balance of the game a little bit in Modern and make the death team and life team and water team a little bit better, but we'll see. This is an interesting match. I don't know if I'm gonna win this one. It's kind of funny. So he went dragons, which death, which I was considered to be able to play this one attack big. Oh, that miss was bad. But let's see. I am shielded, but they're not really going to miss because I only have 2 speed. Ooh, that was a good miss. That was a really good miss for me. Let's see. What do you guys think? Am I going to win or is he going to win? If the DEC rewards are too low right now, then that's something to consider. Renting and paying for it with play might become a little easier once we're earning SPS, because we are supposed to be. Oh, miss again. Yes. See that spark spinsies? They can tank with even 1 HP. But that's why you put them first in these lineups, so that a slower sneaker like that is going to keep missing, hopefully. And that miss was pretty... Oh, another miss on the sniper attack. Yeah, this has been pretty awesome. Yeah, Gordon is there, but I think my team is going to end up... Well, there's a... No, well... I wonder this guy. You know, he's sitting here at the end with all that HP. You know what? I need to take another look at the leagues to understand about how much money it would cost you to make a decent team at silver level. You need to get your summoners to level 4 if you want to dominate in silver. If you get them to level 3 by the end of the season, you can probably make it to the upper silver leagues, but it's gonna be tough to win a lot early in the season because you're gonna be playing people who have level 4. If we just go and look at the market right now, right? So we'll go look at the summoners. Oh, those are my cards. Sorry. Market, Untamed, Dice, Rewards, Summoners. So you got to look to get a level 4 summoner, and he needs to be good. Now, a sneaky one that you could get, which you might not think could help you make it in silver, is this one here. Oh, see, look, he's not even sneaky anymore. He's $7 now because he can be used with any team. So you can use him as your summoner for any team, and you get him to level 4, and you can play any team's monsters at level 4 or level 3, and they just won't have their abilities. But, you know, like this -2 armor, like the untamed abilities are just not as big of a deal to lose. Not in the lower levels. Maybe the +1 health is, but the rest of these are just kind of so-so. Other than that, obviously the better summoners cost more because they're the summoners for the better team. That would be the place to make your investment to be able to play the stronger teams and win a lot more. Obviously, if you want to spend even a little bit more, this card here is sneaky good in the low levels. Giving everyone a shield and letting them get 1 free hit can be very devastating. If you want to compete, you really have to get these legendaries, though. And I mean, Jotun is just so much. Kitty's so much. I mean, just seeing these prices, I feel bad for new players. I'm not gonna lie. I was buying these cards for $20, or even lower. I bought my mimosas for like $7. So I'm not trying to brag. This is why I kind of feel like if you're a new player, you might just want to learn about the game. Maybe get your Hive account going. Make sure you're entering giveaways on Hive, because I do giveaways and other people do giveaways, and maybe win some DEC, win some free stuff. Don't invest a lot of money. And then when Chaos Legion comes out, take a look at how much those cards are going to cost and what they're doing. Because if they release enough cards, you could see cards going again for under the cost of a pack. So if a pack is $2 or $3, then a card will end up being like 50 to 60 cents when it's resold on the market while packs are still in sale. Maybe a little bit more for the better ones, but you can get them probably a lot cheaper than these. Yeah, like in bronze, one of the things that that battle should have shown you is speed matters more than in other leagues, because you have guys that are ridiculously slow. And if you're at 1 speed and you're attacking a monster that's at 6 speed and flies, or 6 speed and has dodge, you're just not going to have a good match. All right, and this is a very annoying rule set to get in bronze because not a lot of people fly. So let's see, who has more flyers? So you have these two. You have you. So is he better than this? These two. Oh, this is such a weird match. 30 mana, though. Oh. Okay, 30 mana. So you... Let's grab the 3 flyers. And now we want guys with a lot of HP. So you have a lot of HP. 7 mana. You have a lot of HP and you snipe for 2. Yeah, I think that's the better play. Alright, we'll see if it works. This is one I'm not as positive on. Earthquake in bronze is tough. Yeah, Mylord Green is best non-legendary summoner in silver. Thorns on everyone in the lower levels is pretty ridiculous, just because the range monsters aren't as strong. Oh, so we get to see what happens when we go against the team I was thinking about going on. This ought to be an interesting fight. I don't know who's going to win this. I don't have anybody to attack that back row. Oh, that miss was good. Let's see how many misses I get with my 4-speed dodging monster. That could be very important, because 2 of my mages can't do any damage. I probably should have... Yep, I didn't get a dodge there, so I think I might be in trouble. This might be my first loss. We'll see what happens here on the earthquakes, though. So he's only going to get hit on those guys. It's funny, nobody... It's funny to watch all these ones, though, not do any damage. Okay, so that guy died, so that was good. And then... Okay, but then now you're going to die. The one bummer is that I didn't get to do that magic attack right there. And then they didn't get a miss there. Okay, now I'm going to lose him and he's going to use him. Okay, I think I lost. Unless I get extremely lucky, I lost. So if he misses this next attack, I win. If not, I lost. I didn't think he would miss because he had 5 speed. It's my first loss in bronze. I told you, though, I typically do just mess up at least once or twice on one of those weird matches. Okay, so this is melee only and super sneak. So that's U3 versus U4. Okay. Ooh, that doesn't leave us with enough mana to play anybody else. But they'll only do one attack. I think that'll work. Yeah, that was a close match. It was a close game. One more dodge by my Serpent of Eld would have won it for me, but he didn't dodge that big 3 attack from the Bone Golem. So that's what ended up doing that match in for me, because he still had 3 health and he got hit and killed, so he would have got one more attack. Or taken one more hit from someone else if he could have got that dodge, but he didn't. All right, we did very similar teams. Oh, I got to retaliate. No, don't get a retaliate back. Yes. Retaliates can really, really, really change the game. Didn't get one there. I think he made a little bit of a mistake, and his mistake in his lineup, if I do hold on to win this match, was he put his big guys over where they, over here instead of over here. But I guess we'll have to see. Him going first is pretty big, though. That little speed win. Oh, but I got to retaliate. So at least I did some damage back. So he got the speed win both turns, though. Those monsters are exactly the same. And so it was an RNG for who would attack first, and he attacked first both times. That would have been pretty much devastating to me, except for the fact that he got retaliated on both times. This is going to be very interesting right here on this next turn. Who's going to win this RNG? Because these are the same monsters, and so we're going to have to see who can attack first. Now, the fact that I have still 2 guys right here, though, that should carry the day for me. He could get some retaliates, but I don't think it's going to matter. But we'll see. He went first. If he wins, it's going to be because I can't hit this unicorn. Because both of my guys are low speed. And he got to retaliate there, too. Oh, this is going to be crazy. If he misses... Oh, he didn't miss. That was pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Man, guys. See, there, as you can see, even if you know what you're doing, the down here in bronze, some matches are going to be a little wild. All right, so this one is definitely a match for him, and her. And then, who do we want to add to go with them? Him. And then these 2. Okay, so I haven't really been able to show you this, but this is the green team, and this is why the green team and higher mana can be so ridiculous. So for one thing, they can all attack the same spot. So as you see, the unicorn will hit first position, the magic user will, Beatrix will, the goblin chariot will, and Micah will. This is the reason why I'm using the goblin chariot over, say, trying to throw in this sneak monster or throw in this guy. You could use the orc instead if you wanted more tankage up front, but the failed summoner is going to sit there as a secondary tank, and these 2 cards are going to be just as much HP as him, and then it allows me to play these really big hitters in the back. The one thing that could mess this up would be somebody who played like 2 sneak monsters on me, but that's almost impossible to do in bronze. So I imagine I'm going to run into a similar team, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I won't. Maybe somebody will try to play... I mean, playing life... Okay, so he played the kind of armor team, though in Untamed they're less of an armor team without any armor. So that's going to be an interesting play. I think I'm going to dominate him. If I'm wrong, I'll laugh, but I'll speed this one up. I don't think he's going to get even a chance to use some of his characters, so... That was a good thing that I got rid of that shield. That was the other reason why playing the extra character kind of worked for me. Because both of those little tiny characters have shields. And in the end, that 4 attack is just what's going to probably end up carrying the day for me. The one fear would be if he got me into the front row. But that's not going to end up happening. Instead, I did it to him. It was closer than it looked, but in the end, that 4 attack is just too much. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. The water team you might think isn't that good when you look at them without Aldrich, but that's just because Aldrich is so good. But if you look at the untamed water team, they actually have a lot of good archers. So you got this one here, this one here, this one here. So you add in a few more good archers in the new set, and they're going to be able to play a team with Bortus who makes the other team's magic not as good and just go ranged. And then they can just add in a few magical monsters that just have other cool abilities that make them worth using. See? So you can use like Lobsterdamus on your second position to be a shielded magic reducing thorns secondary tank with 12 HP, which is pretty crazy for 6. You can also combo the Coral Wraith to try to magic kill a couple people in the back. You can sneak in an Ice Pixie to shatter early in a turn in case you run into a guy with big armor. This team is actually very close to being good. The real reason why this team isn't that good is in this format is because their level 7 summoner just is not that good. He's terrible. So yeah, you could see them get a +1 range. I mean, you have to imagine, they could introduce some new abilities. Sorry, let's get back into my tournament and things like that. But it's not necessarily that you're going to see. You might just see like a thing where you get the new summoners from the other teams, but now you get them to get those. But a +1 ranged, the only 3 cost +1 range monster is it's hard to imagine that he's going to be, I don't know. I just don't know if I see it. All right, let's try that. Yeah, but water without magic attack would only be in the new format of the game, and so it just wouldn't be their specialty. But they're going to get a new summoner, and there's a really, really good chance that in the new set, we're going to see a replacement for the level 5 legendary summoners that are in the beta set. Because those guys are kings and very powerful, and they're like the card you have to compete in Modern. Are in Classic or whatever they're calling it, and I don't have those guys, so that's why I can't get any higher than like the 70th. Yeah, when the mana gets high enough, then Jotun kind of cancels her out. The Llama is really good, so I can still compete up there because I have a max Jotun, I have a max Llama, but I'll do much better in the next set if whatever legendary summoners are released in the next set, I go ahead and have, and I'm able to do a good thing with those. But we'll see what happens with that. I don't know for sure what's going to end up happening, but I do think that I'm going to have a chance to place higher in that league if I have all the legendary summoners. Yeah, you're right. I mean, all the cards are expensive right now, and I think that we're looking at least another year before these cards aren't expensive, which is pretty wild because the SPS token, everybody knows that it's a $3 billion token, and I talked about this in my last video. That means with 3 billion tokens, each token should be worth around $1 to more dollars when everything's said and done, and there's just a chance that that these tokens are going to be even worth, say, $5, $6, $7, $8, $10. So everybody really, really wants those tokens. And that makes sense to me. Yeah, in the new set, I imagine you'll get at least 1 summoner for everybody. You might even get 2 summoners for everybody. there might be a regular summoner and there might be a legendary summoner for each team. That's what was in beta. Untamed also eventually had one legendary summoner and one regular summoner for every team. So I imagine that's what you're going to get in the set. Now it's possible that you're going to get what do you call it? That they're going to be a little bit different. They're not going to be level 5 legendary summoners. They're going to be, 5 cost. Maybe they're going to be 6 cost ones or 4 cost ones, because we haven't seen a 4 cost summoner or a 6 cost summoner yet. So they could be a little bit different, and they're meant to be paired up with the Untamed Summoner. So think about in the Chaos Legion set modern format, you're going to have the Chaos Legion summoners and the Dice summoners all already available. So you've got 2 sets of 3 cost summoners for each team and a 7 cost summoner for each team. So what do you think the summoners are going to be in the new cards set? I imagine they're going to be 4 cost and 6 cost, and they're going to be either epic and legendary, or maybe just epic, or both epic possibly, or maybe the 4 cost is also rare. We do have a 1 4 cost summoner in the game at least for the dragon team. We also have a 5 cost one that is a common. So there could be a lot of different things that end up happening. So if anybody doesn't know, the way the airdrops worked before when it came to the Untamed set is they released the set, and every time they sold 100,000 packs, they introduced a new card to the game. Those were the 7 cost legendary summoners, and after it was introduced, it was airdropped to the people who bought packs in the first 100,000 packs, and then it was put into the packs for the next 600,000 packs. And they did this for all the 7 cost summoners in the game, along with a couple other cards. The 1 drop legendaries were released that way in the dice set. And so imagine, let's say they're going to sell 3 million packs of Untamed, or something like that. I'm just putting a number out there. Then maybe every 100,000 there's an airdropped card, or maybe it's like every 250,000 now. They might change it. Yeah, after Chaos Legion, it's going to be pretty wild to see what happens. I imagine we're going to see a lot more players come in. There's going to be a lot of people that couldn't compete in stuff, and they're going to be, oh, I'm going to lose because he attacked first. Probably. Yep, I'm going to lose because he attacked first. Ugh. Well, I killed his. This is actually a weird match. No, I'm going to lose. I'll speed it up. This guy's got too much HP in the back there. It's going to come down to who's for giant attacks first right there. Yeah, he did, so he won. Man, he won the RNG for speed on both. Sometimes you just can't win. Yeah, I can already see when the new rewards cards come out, it's going to make people want to play a little bit more too, because they're giving us big cards. If they're throwing out their 8 and 9 drop rewards cards, 8 and 9 drops are so rare that you have to imagine that people are really, really, really going to want those. Oh, this is interesting. Super Sneak, 28 mana. You know what? Oh, this is a weird team. I'm going with a weird one. There were no limits on PAX buys in the previous set, Chris. So um, it was all how much money you wanted to spend. In the previous releases, the way they enticed people to buy more of the cards was by giving them bonuses for buying them. So you actually, because the game was so small at the release of Untamed, the cards that were given out were allowed to be. If you bought enough of them, you actually got to help design a card, which was pretty wild. Oh, I'm gonna lose. Just speed this up. I tried to get cute because I wanted to have like some extra monsters on the board that would have more HP, and I just didn't. I didn't. It was not the right thing to do. Especially because I played two mages in a match where it was quite obvious I was going to be going against this unicorn with his speed and his void, and it was just not going to be good. Yeah. Yep, see that 4 attack. I know that 4 attack is dominating, and still, I didn't play it. Well, oh, it's all right. Not a bad first round. I went 8-3. I'm sitting in 5th place. I'll make it to the second day, and then I'll play again, and hopefully I'll do a little better. I would have liked to have gotten a 9th win. A 9th win would have guaranteed I was in a higher position. I'm probably going to end up. I usually end up somewhere here, either 25 or 12. I don't know why I got cute there. Otherwise, I might have been up in these ones. But, well, I'll work on it. I'll keep going. Now we'll talk a little bit about the cards. Yeah. The unicorn versus the mage wasn't good, and I should have kind of realized that they were going to do that, and so it was pretty obvious, really, that was the right play. I mean, I told you in the beginning to play green when mana was high, and then I didn't listen to myself. All right, so let's talk about the cards. What team do you guys want to look at first? Anybody want to? Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in the new release. They haven't really hinted anything at us. I mean, in the past, they've said things like the airdrops worked well in Untamed to help them sell packs. And like when you reach like close to the next airdrop, pack sales would kind of increase. So they will probably do that again. They said they're not going to do a full-on Kickstarter campaign this time because they feel like there's enough players. There's going to be this voucher system. What's going to be kind of interesting is how many packs are released to be sold in the pre-sale, and are we going to get those packs early? Because this is the first time they've ever done something like a voucher to get cards. Okay, so right now we're looking at green. These are just the green cards for the Untamed, rewards, and dice that can be used in the modern format. Now, if you want to add in beta cards, okay, to compete in the modern, like the format everyone plays in today, in green, then you have to have Flesh Golem. You have to have him at least at level 3. You don't have to have Lana, but if you don't have Lana but she heals at a lower level, so she's more important to have. But if you're competing, oh no, I'm sorry, that she's the summoner. I'm sorry, I meant to say Wood Nymph. You can skip Wood Nymph and go for the new Untamed one. That's a 2-drop. Where is she? The princess. I forget her name. Princess something. I'm blind, apparently. There she is. She's right next to her. the Kilmore princess. Yeah, in the past, if you bought a whole bunch of packs in the very beginning, then you're in airdrops for the entire set. But the percentage chance to win an airdrop gets worse with each additional pack that's sold. So let's say you buy 1,000 packs in the beginning and there's 100,000 packs, then your chance of getting a dropped air card to you is 1,000 over 100,000. But then in the next 100,000 that are sold, now your next chance for the next airdrop is 1,000 over 200,000 packs. And then 1,000 over 300,000 packs. So you're going to get diminishing returns if you do it that way. Just so you know. I mean, that just might still be the best way to do it, though, because if you can buy a lot of packs in the beginning, then you will just get airdrops for the entire set that is released, and you will have the cards at high levels. But so these, you have to have one of these cards leveled up, and if you're competing at low levels, you have to have a wood nymph. But the nice thing is, you just need to buy one, so she heals. And if you are going to compete at the high levels, this one actually becomes a better healer at level 8 because it has triage, so it heals front row and back row, which is pretty amazing for a card that only costs 2. And it ends up having 5 life. I mean, this card's a beast at max level. I'm glad I maxed it out. It's one of the cards I maxed out very, very early on. And it's a $400 card now because of that ability to heal both front row and back row. The one thing is, with only 5 HP, it can be targeted by opportunity monsters. So you have to take that into account and maybe put somebody in front of her that has low HP to take those hits first. You don't want them coming out and sniping your healer in either one that you go with. Now, as far as the summoners for green, let's look at how they look right now. Ah, darn it. I ended up on my cards again, people. Sorry. So one thing that they do, that you can be on the market and accidentally end up on the other ones. Okay. So definitely don't worry about getting Xander at this point. He's only needed for like competing in the low mana silent summoner matches. So this is only for the top players to need. If you're going to play in the set with all cards, Prince is very important. He's probably the most powerful of the 5. Him and Valimar go back and forth with who's more powerful at the 5 mana cost summoners. So he's pretty ridiculous. But if you're not going to include the beta set and you're just looking at these guys, he's better. He is, without a doubt, he's better. But if you know how to beat him, he's not hard to beat. If you just use a lot of magic and range, then he's not a big deal. But obviously there's some formats where maybe mages can't be used. Super Sneak, where you might think you're going to see more melee. So he's better. But the Wizard of Eastwood isn't bad, especially because some of the other really good teams in this set have Protect. There's other cards to have Protect, and so getting rid of mana isn't a bad thing at all. Now let's go ahead and stop looking at the summoners. We'll go to monsters, and we'll go to the commons first. Okay, so obviously the Wood Nymph is not an untamed card, so in the new format she won't be able to be used. That's something to remember. She still might be worth getting to play until the new set is actually out and playable, because we're only going to be doing the pre-sale in about 2 to 4 weeks. The actual release of the cards might be another 2 to 3 months, just so everybody knows. Golem cannot be used in the new format, no. So you can keep playing in the regular format with him, and if you're somebody that's going to theoretically, since there's going to be two formats of the game where you can either use all cards or just Untamed, Dice, and Chaos Legion, there's going to be different DEC pools for each. So at sometimes it might be more profitable to be playing in the new one, or it might be more profitable to be playing in the old one, because the DEC is going to get drained as people play. So whichever one has less players, they're going to be getting more for their more rewards per match, basically. So it's not a bad idea to get a Flesh Golem at level 3 or get one to level 5 if you want to just kind of hang out and play this game in a high bronze or high silver, earning your rewards and hoping that you get really lucky on one of those chests. But if not, your only tank is the Unicorn for the new set, and the Unicorn's not a bad tank. So we'll see what Chaos Legion brings them, but realistically, for low mana, the Harvester is a better card than people think, just because he has pretty good attack and pretty good speed. I mean, pretty good health for a 5 mana. And the other thing that he does, if you get him up to level 3, is he has 3 attack. So he's a 5 cost card with 3 attack at low levels. So this card is better than people think, but he's not as good as if he's only really good in like 14 mana matches, because he doesn't cost 4, so you can't use him in Little League. The Barking Spider, if you want a card that you can level up cheap and have a good attacker that has at least 2 attack, you can get him to level 4, and then he has 2 attack, and it's a pretty cheap card to get to level 4. Then he has 2 attack, 3 speed, 6 health. It's not a terrible card in the back row. There are better ones on the green team, but there aren't really better back row attackers when you look at the commons. Now, if you go up here to the rares, even when you look at the rares in the Untamed set, there's not really anything better than the Barking Spider when it's a back row attacker. This one's a sniper, which doesn't really work well unless you're running a sniper team. Now, they can run a sniper team. You can combo him with Manicore, and in the new Chaos Legion, there should be at least some sniper on the team, and so then you can run at least 3 snipers, if not 4 snipers. So the green team is going to have a sniper team that could be pretty competitive. The Centauri Mage is really good as a second position or first position tank to be hit by snipers, because if you put her in the sniper position and then you have the leveled up princess next to her, she'll heal her when she gets hit, and she'll bounce back the range damage. So that's pretty cool. No, there are no 4 mana good cards in green. There's not even one if you add it in neutral. There is no 4 mana good tank for green. So Little League matches in Untamed, you know who you use as your tank for green, and it does work, is you just use the Failed Summoner. He only costs 2, but he's your best option in a Little League match or for like a 4 or under tank, because if you level him up, he gets a good amount of HP. What? That was weird. They won't let me look at the stacks page. I guess the site's trying to be a little goofy. Okay. So if you level him up, so let's say you're playing him in silver, you get him here, 2 cost, 8 health, and he'll bounce any magic back at him. And then if you have a chicken, right now you put a chicken in front of him, so the chicken takes the one big hit, and then he bounces back the other hits. But it only works in little mana matches, because you don't want him sitting in the front if somebody plays somebody with like 4 or 5 attack in the back row on the other team. The neutral one? What are you talking about? Is it not an Untamed card? Is that why I didn't see it? I don't know which 4 cost card you're talking about. Let me add promos in. Maybe this guy? Why can't I remember who's got 4 health? I mean 4 cost and has a heal and is neutral. Okay, so Earth Team secondary tank. So you're looking at the guys with reach, or you're looking for somebody with a mage? Or you're looking for... So this one is one of the better second tanks, but he's okay to put in the second position. Kron is a great secondary tank. This guy is not a bad secondary tank if you get him leveled up to where he gets his shield, but I guess you're only playing in bronze. Well, he always has his shield, so he'll take at least 1 free hit. She's not a bad secondary tank because she has thorns and can go into the front row, so Beatrix might be the best one for the team. Kind of a funny secondary tank that you can use is the Sandworm in higher mana matches, because it'll do big sneak attacks, and then when it ends up in your front row as a tank, it's got a huge attack. But that one is kind of sneaky. You can also do things like Cornelius in the secondary position, but he's pretty expensive. That's probably not what you're looking for bronze. Yeah, I would just pick a magic monster or a ranged monster. So I would just use the orc or use the somebody with magic that can attack when they hit into the front row. Or you can throw this failed summoner in the second position just to be a secondary tank that's just going to take some hits. So that's kind of what I would say. Biceratops is the 4-cost one with 1 armor, but he doesn't heal, does he? Or did I just not level him up all the way? I think I kind of ignored Biceratops. No, I have him at level 8. I didn't max him out because he didn't get any good. He doesn't have a heal though, right? Yeah, no. I mean, he's not bad at 4 if you maxed him out and he had his 6 HP. But he only has 4 HP, the 1 speed, he's slow, he misses people. Ugh. Yeah, like your secondary tank, one of the things that I like to do as far as a secondary tank for any team is they either need to be a reach monster with melee so they can still attack when they hit the front row. They need to be a mage monster with a lot of HP so they can hit the front row and hopefully still take a hit or two while delivering a few attacks back. Or they need to be a ranged monster with very high speed and dodge, or with self-heal and a lot of HP like Cornelius. Because then they will either dodge attacks or they will take attacks for a while and self-heal, giving your other ranged monsters behind them chances to finish off the fight and get you a win. The Earth team can use a couple different monsters with a self-heal with a healer behind them, so you'll just have a big meat shield up in the front row that you can heal. That's kind of one of the better things to do for a secondary tank. It doesn't make a lot of sense to put a secondary tank on the board that can't attack on the first turn unless you're in bronze and the mana is very, very high. And then you just might want to put an 8-drop in the back of him. Like, just this big stupid guy. Where is he? There's this one. Just put him there and then have him fall into the front row. So I only got him to level 7. This is one of my cards I never leveled up. Maybe I should spend a little money on him. I almost maxed out every single untamed card. The only ones I didn't do were my commons. So I was about to do the commons, and see, I did blues, at least the important ones in blue. Though the Tortoise Fighter's actually better than I thought he was maxed out, but at the time I didn't think he was very good, so I didn't max him out. I maxed these ones out, and then a green I started to max out. Death, I maxed out him, but that was the only one because the other ones I didn't think were very good. And then I only took my neutrals to level 8. So these are my low-level cards, unfortunately. Yeah, you can watch it. I'm going to end it here pretty quick. Unless anybody has some really good questions right away, I think I'm just going to end it. I've been going for over an hour, and I think it's pretty cool. Time to end, and it was a lot of fun just to hang out with you guys and try to answer a few questions and stuff. But yeah, the Earth team secondary tank, the cheapest one I can imagine that you would go for would maybe be a Harvester if you didn't care about them attacking in the front row. And then maybe a Biceratops if you didn't care about them attacking that first turn. But more likely, you're going to want to get an Orc Sergeant, a Minotaur Warrior, or you could do the Screeching Vulture in the secondary tank position, hoping that he scavenges up some life. So. Oh, the reason why they use credits is because it allows them to do it helps them with the regulation of the game. This is an American-based company, and they have to find American laws, and credits to them are kind of like gift cards. So if you can buy the credits to buy stuff, but the credits aren't considered a cryptocurrency. and they're able to sell you these for whatever you want, but it allows them as a company to not have to accept cryptocurrencies, all cryptocurrencies, which protects them a little bit because they accept them kind of indirectly. And so that's the reason why credits are in place. The other reason why credits are in place is to allow you to, in theory, their thought process behind them was like right now, while DEC is at pretty amazing prices, if you were planning to buy a bunch of Chaos Legion packs, you could put your DEC into credits, and then you would know that your buying power is going to stay the same, right? Like right here, this 150,000 dark energy crystals is only supposed to be $150, but in reality, it's over $1,000 in value right now. So I could trade this, what would have only been $150 in DEC, to $1,000, over $1,000 worth of credits, and then I can just wait for Chaos Legion to come out, and I don't care where the dark energy crystals go in price. That's the idea behind credits. So right now, you had a run on any of these cryptos, right? Wax had a run a few days ago, so if you were a big Wax player, you could have bought some credits when Wax hit 40 cents. Hive just pumped up, so if you're a Hive user, you could have spent some of that. If you're somebody who has what's something else that's pumped up? Gala Games, Gala pumped, Engine pumped, or it's just a way for you to be able to trade stable coins for stable currency within the game, and then you can kind of hunt for prices, right? So like, let's say you're looking for cards and you're like, as soon as somebody lists one that's cheap, I want to be able to buy it, but I want to sit with currency in the game. I can sit with holding myself a stack of credits, and then I can use those to buy the cards. Yeah, Earth is very, very powerful in Bronze. If you play it all day, you won't lose very, very much. The only time they end up losing is to Fire, and only if the mana cap is so low that they can't play both of their 8 drops, and even then, you might get lucky and win. So if Earth definitely is the best team, but I do think Chaos Legion is going to bring a lot more balance into the game. The funny thing is, though, at the higher levels, Jotun makes Fire better than Earth in almost every match. And then Bizen Kitty can beat Earth as well. So it really just matters. It changes a lot. The game changes a lot as cards level. So the most powerful ones in Bronze are not going to be the most powerful ones in Diamond. It's just the way it is. Man, I was doing so good, and then I blew those last 2 matches. Such a bummer.